So this brings us to the third part of our chapter. So far, we have discussed responsibility and authority as complementary factors that channel activity within the organization. We discussed कि authority or responsibility क्या होते हैं and how are they supposed to flow in an organization ideally. Now we come towards delegation, which is the actual process of assigning job activities, or we can say assigning job responsibility and corresponding authority to specific individuals within the organization, the actual process of allocating resources. So if we talk about how the delegation process flows or the steps in the delegation process, the first step would be to assign specific duties to the individual, जो कि responsibility के अंदर भी आता है. In all cases, the manager must be sure that the subordinate assigned to specific duties has a clear understanding of what these duties entail. Whenever possible, the activities should be stated in operational terms, so the subordinate knows exactly what action must be taken to perform the assigned duties. They should be mentioned as clearly and as specific as possible. Then the second step, delegation process may, it would involve granting appropriate authority to the subordinate. That is, the subordinate must be given the right and power within the organization to accomplish the duties assigned. And the last step involves creating the obligation for the subordinate to perform the duties assigned. आपने उनको task बता दिया, आपने उनको authority बता दी, and अब आप उन make sure करेंगे that they obligatorily perform those activities. Otherwise, there are going to be consequences for him being the employee and the organization. The subordinate must be aware of the responsibility to complete the duties assigned and must accept that responsibility. The sad part is that there can be different obstacles to the delegation process itself, and these obstacles can make delegation within an organization difficult or even impossible. And there are usually three general categories to these obstacles. An example of the first category is the supervisor who resists delegating his authority to subordinates because he cannot bear to part with any authority. Then two other supervisor related obstacles are the fear that subordinates will not do a job well, and the suspicion that surrendering some authority may be seen as a sign of weakness. So the people who are very much into power and into keeping everything to themselves, they actually serve as an obstacle in this process कि वो अपने हिस्से का कोई भी काम किसी और को assign नहीं करना चाह रहे, just for the reason that they would be considered weak by other people and they do not fully trust their subordinates कि वो काम ठीक से करेंगे. And moreover, if supervisors are insecure in their jobs or believe कि कुछ activities उनकी personal success के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा important है, then again to put the performance of these activities into the hands of others, it's going to be hard for them. Then the second category is the one that relates to subordinates. Supervisors who do not wish to delegate to subordinates may encounter several subordinate related roadblocks as well. First, subordinates may be reluctant to accept delegated authority because they are afraid of failing, or they have lack of self-confidence, or they feel that the supervisor doesn't have confidence in them. So it's the other way around as well. These obstacles will be especially apparent in subordinates who have never before used delegated authority. अगर एक person को इससे पहले कभी authority नहीं दी गई, उसको कभी कोई task इस तरह delegate नहीं किया गया, तो obviously he would be reluctant in accepting it. Other subordinate related obstacles are the fear that the supervisor will be unavailable for guidance when needed, and the reluctance to exercise authority that may complicate comfortable working relationships. The third obstacles category relates to organizations, and characteristics of the organization themselves also make delegation difficult. For example, a very small organization may present the supervisor with only a minimal number of activities to be delegated. And in organizations where few job activities and little authority have been delegated in the past, an attempt to initiate the delegation process may make employees reluctant and apprehensive because supervisor would be introducing a very significant change in the procedure, and a change is often strongly resisted, as we discussed in our previous chapters. Then coming towards the concept of centralization and decentralization under delegation, noticeable differences can be found from organization to organization in the relative number of job activities and the relative amount of authority delegated to subordinates. These differences are seldom a case of delegation existing in one organization and not existing in other. Rather, the differences come from the degree of delegation. So, ये जो degree of delegation है, it can be termed as centralization and decentralization. They can be thought of as opposite ends of the delegation continuum, and it is apparent that centralization implies that a minimal number of job activities and a minimal amount of authority have been delegated to subordinates by management, and decentralization implies the opposite. So simply speaking, centralization यानी कि हर टास्क या हर डिसीजन की जो फाइनल अथॉरिटी है वो टॉप मोस्ट मैनेजर ही लेगा द डिसीजन या फाइनल जो अप्रूवल है. वाइल डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन इज कि आपने ये जो फाइनल अप्रूवल की या फाइनल डिसीजन मेकिंग की अथॉरिटी है ये डिफरेंट लोगों को डेजिग्नेट कर दी है, डिफरेंट डिपार्टमेंटल मैनेजर्स को या डिफरेंट लेवल्स को, and they can make the decision for their departments or for their people themselves. They do not need to approach the top manager for everything. The appropriate degree of centralization or decentralization for an organization depends on the unique situation of that organization. Some specific questions managers can use to determine the amount of centralization appropriate for a situation are the ones that are listed in front of you. Pehli cheez, what is the size of the organization? The larger the organization, the greater the likelihood that decentralization will be advantageous. As an organization increases in size, managers have to assume more and more responsibility and different types of tasks. So delegation is typically an effective means of helping them manage this increased workload. अगर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की साइज बहुत बड़ी है तो अगर हर डिसीजन के लिए, हर टास्क के लिए टॉप मोस्ट मैनेजमेंट को अप्रोच किया जाएगा या उनका अप्रूवल सीक किया जाएगा, then it's going to result in elongated, unnecessarily elongated procedures and red tapeism simply. Second question that managers ask themselves while delegating authority is, what are the organizations or where are the organization's customers located? As a general rule, the more physically separated the organization's customers are, the more viable a significant amount of decentralization is. Decentralization places appropriate management resources close to customers and thereby makes quick customer service possible. तो जिस टाइप के कस्टमर्स हैं, जिस जहाँ पे वो कस्टमर्स लोकेटेड है, उनके हिसाब से decisions लेने की authority देनी चाहिए to the managers who are at that particular area, and there should be decentralization for quick procedures. Then how homogeneous is the organization's product line? Generally, as the product line becomes more heterogeneous or varied or dissimilar, diversified, the appropriateness of decentralization increases because different kinds of decisions, talents, and resources are needed to manufacture different products. So it's better to grant others the authority to make decisions on their own. Then the fourth question is, where are organizational suppliers? The location of raw materials needed to manufacture the organization's products is another important consideration. क्योंकि लॉस ऑफ टाइम और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन कॉस्ट्स का हाई होना is a problem which is associated with shipping raw materials over great distances from the supplier to the manufacturer, and इसके लिए ज़रूरी ये है कि certain functions को decentralize कर दिया जाए. For example, the wood necessary to manufacture a certain type of bedroom set may be available only from tree growers in certain northern states of America. if the bedroom set in question is an important product line for a furniture company, and if the costs of transporting the lumber are substantial, a decision to decentralize may be a sound one. The effect of this decision would probably be building a plant that produces only bedroom sets in a northern state, close to where the necessary wood is readily available. The advantages of such a costly decision, of course, would accrue to the organization only over the long term. Then the fifth question is, are quick decisions needed in the organization? If speedy decision making is essential, a considerable amount of decentralization is probably in order, because decentralization cuts red tapeism and allows the subordinate to whom authority has been delegated to make on the spot decisions when necessary. If I give you IOBM's example, I would say that there is much centralization here, बिकॉज कोई भी क्वेरी आती है या कोई भी इशू क्रिएट होता है तो अल्टीमेटली वी हैव टू सीक अप्रूवल और फाइनलाइजेशन बाय द यूनिवर्सिटीज एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर. एंड यहाँ पे बिकॉज देयर आर वास्ट नंबर ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, quick decisions are actually needed, and there are very unique cases coming up all the time. तो आइडियली ये होना चाहिए कि डिपार्टमेंट्स को या कॉलेजेस जो हैं, वी हैव 4 कॉलेजेस हियर इन आईओबीएम, उनको अथॉरिटी दे देनी चाहिए, एंड देयर शुड बी मोर डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन, ताकि वो अपने तौर पे उस केस को एनालाइज करते हुए क्विक डिसीजन ले लें एंड थिंग्स बिकम स्मूदर. The sixth question is creativity a desirable feature of the organization? And of course, if creativity is desirable, then some decentralization is advisable, because decentralization freedom allow karega to find better ways of doing things. The mere existence of this freedom encourages the incorporation of new and more creative techniques within the task process. So usually agar arts एंड क्राफ्ट्स रिलेटेड डिपार्टमेंट है या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है या मार्केटिंग बेस्ड ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, तो इट रिक्वायर्स अ लॉट ऑफ क्रिएटिविटी. तो वहाँ पे डिसेंट्रलाइजेशन का जो लेवल है, इट शुड बी हायर देन अदर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस.